to Life Combo. I'm your girl, Lady, and if you're new to this channel, thanks for stopping by. And if you're already a part of the Life family, hey y'all. Before I forget, you know what to do. You got it. So I wanted to jump on here really quick just to say, I've seen the video in reference to Eboni Williams and Iyanla Vanzant. I always mess up her name. I'm not gonna try to correct it, but I figured you guys know who I'm speaking about. Now, I was first introduced to Evanya, however she pronounces her name, back when I was like, I think I was like 15, 16, somewhere around in there. I got her book. It was given to me as a gift from my son's godmother. However, at the time, she's just a really close family friend, and I love her to death. Shout out to Minerva, Danzler, we call her Bean, and love you. So she is the first person that ever introduced Miss Vanzant into my life, and it really changed my perspective on just how the world views stuff. I have seen and heard the commentary over the course of just this week with the Eboni Williams and Miss Vanzant kind of like clip, and even seeing, you know, Eboni's response, or Eboni Williams' response to the clip. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna play it really quick.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if
a bus
he owns
driver?
the bus? If he owns
No.
it. If he owns the bus,
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself.
So now that you've seen that clip, what are your thoughts? Did you have any thoughts? Did you talk to anybody about this? Because like I told y'all before in the last video, I come on here to bring up topics to discuss. Channel is called Life Combo, so let's have conversations about real things happening in life. Now, I was first introduced to Miss Vanzant when I was about 15, 16 years old. A great friend of the family. We're gonna jump into our sponsor, which is your girl. If you are looking for someone to help you in business, help you in life, I'm it. Definitely go to allinallitslife.com and sign up today and get your merch. I know I have. Back to the video. Being, you know who you are, we have always had a connection, and she actually gave me Miss Vanzant's book as a gift at that very young age. And just because of the way my mind kind of thinks about things and how I internalize things, the book was everything to me. Not because it was specifically, you know, given to me in that time of my life. It's just the things that Miss Vanzant discussed in her book, and her just her intellectual understanding of just, human individuals in the world. And so I've always uh, loved the things that she discussed. I don't always agree with everything she says, just because I look at things from all standpoints. Yet 9 times out of 10, for the things that she does speak about, in my mind, she's right. There's really no wrong answer to life. So many different people have different ways, that they've had to go about living life. So it brings me back to Eboni Williams. And when the question was presented, would she date a bus driver? Her attitude, her facial demeanor, her tone, just her intensity behind if he owned the bus. And that, caused me to think, how come, her statement wasn't yes or no? And I really feel like, she was asked a direct, closed-ended question. And if you're not aware of what a closed-ended question is, it's a question where if somebody asks you, is the sky blue? Closed-ended means you give the answer yes or no. There's not really any wiggle room. Now, some people will say, well, if you ask me if the sky blue, I can give you an open-ended question, an open-ended answer and say, well, the sky is more of a light blue with some white, which, yeah, you can. And I feel like that's what Eboni did. She was asked, would she date a bus driver? Yet instead of just answering giving a closed-ended answer, yes or no, she gave an open-ended answer by saying, if he owned the bus. Well, that opened up more dialogue to be kind of directed towards her. And in my mind, I was thinking, why she just didn't say yes or no? However, nobody's entitled to do what I'm thinking. So again, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. Now, she later doubled down. I know she went on The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne and DJ Envy, and DJ Envy gave it to her like he was not even playing. So I'm going to play this clip so you can look at it.
I feel like you're changing the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy. Envy, that's a projection. Because
I'll let you speak. Let me talk, please.
Envy. Yeah.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
Paging Dr. Umar, damn.
So now that you've seen that clip, do you feel like DJ Envy was in his feelings, or was he in his bag just letting her know, what it was and what it wasn't? That, bus drivers are, they are people, they are important people, and you ain't finna play down home Alabama on, this individual just because they drive a bus. Now, for me, she even tried to double down and then even try to say it wasn't about money, it was about being able to, provide provisions. Well, provisions, money is a part of provisions. You want, most women want a man that who can provide and protect. Now, most of us do not have a man or do not get a man that provides and protect, and we move around. Then there's some of us that do get a man that can provide and protect. However, in your mind, when you hear the thought, provide, protect, provisions, money is a part of provisions, right? Most women want to know that this person can help on the bills. No matter what amount it is, he needs to be able to provide some type of financial stability. Now, and she tried to say it was about ownership. Well, the question wasn't put to you, do you want an owner of a bus? Would you date an owner of a bus? The question was, would you date a bus driver? It doesn't matter if the bus driver owns the bus or not. The question was put to you, would you date a bus driver? Simple as far as the eye can see. It's a no. I don't care what she say. I don't care how she tries to say it, how she tries to backpedal it. She would not date a bus driver. And then if you go do a little bit of research, which I have, she was raised in a home with a mother who was a bus driver. So right there, that lets me know she already has a disdain for bus drivers because she possibly looked down on what her mother did. And she ain't feeling the bus driver right, and that's okay. Do you feel like she should have been like, look, I grew up with a single mother who drove a bus, and for me, it was embarrassing, or I didn't see the appeal, or they didn't make enough money, so that someone could kind of educate her and let her know what bus drivers make now, even discussing with her the benefits possibly of dating a bus driver. They get health insurance. They usually have like a 401k, or they get life insurance on the job. It's just many different aspects. However, it kind of makes me think, if Ms. Vanzant would have asked her, well, would you date a truck driver? She still would have had that same Like she said, her lifestyle is set up differently, as most of our lifestyles are. And I'm not saying that she's wrong for her statement. I'm stating, in my opinion, she should have stood on her statement and let it be known, I don't care how y'all feel, I ain't dating no bus driver. However, she went on the Breakfast Club, try to double down, yet she still tried to explain her logic, saying it was about ownership in the Black community. It's not about money. And in my opinion, that made her look dumb as F. You said something, people came at you. You say that you don't care, you didn't like it. However, what's understood don't gotta be explained. Now, that's all I have for you in this video, and I'll catch you in the next.